This video shows the LED turn signal upgrade to my 2007 Road King using the Zytc LEDs. Got them off Amazon. I think they're about $38 a pair for the front and $38 for the rear. This is how they come. It comes in a disc. This is an 1157 base, which has the two posts there, a high post and a low post. And these are your front, to replace your front lamp and your turn signal. I opted to buy some clear lenses to replace my amber lenses in the front. These are from Zytc also. They seem to be nearly identical to the Harley lenses, except they're clear. Also, I bought a electrical load stabilizer from Badlands on Dennis Kirk, or from Dennis Kirk. These come with red lenses for the rear, so these replacement lenses come with it. The load stabilizer helps eliminate the hyper flash that you get with models like my bike. Your bike will go into hyper flash, and I'll talk more about that later. This is just a plug-and-play device. This one, the brand name is Badlands, and the model number is called Illuminator, and it turns your rear turn signals into running lamps. So your rear turn signals are always on, and then they flash when you hit your turn signal button. This is what my bike looks like now. I've previously upgraded the headlamps and auxiliary lamps, and the installation is very straightforward. All you need is a number 2 screwdriver. You just undo the screw and the bolt at the 6 o'clock position of the turn signal. And then you separate the gap at the 6 o'clock position of the trim ring, and then you want to disengage it from behind the lens. So this has a little ridge on the back of it there that snaps in behind the lens, and so you're opening it up so you can kind of tease it off the lens. Obviously, just undo the screws here. They're just come right out, no big deal. And then pay attention to this black rubber O-ring because you're going to reuse that. I'm putting a little dielectric grease on the replacement LED. Dielectric grease is not conductive. It helps waterproof and insulate the electrical connection there, but don't use too much because it doesn't conduct electricity, and you don't want to interfere with the conduction. And so I put it on the sides of the lamp base there, but not on the very end itself. And then to install the base, when you unscrew the regular incandescent lamp that's in there, pay attention to where the high base, or where the high post and low post are located, and then you want to install it with the same orientation. I think this one, the low post, was in front. It just goes in and twists and installs. What I'm pointing at right now is a flat metal ridge that's in the lamp housing, and that flat metal ridge will correspond with the flat spot in your turn signal LED ring right there. So you can see where my finger is. It's pointing out the flat spot. The replacement lens, it's not symmetrical. There is a top and bottom to it, and the flat spot goes on top. I find it easiest to install the new LEDs by first mating it with the lens, and then with a single screw to kind of hold everything in place. You can see I'm holding that screw in place with my index finger. You just tease the wire in place, and then try and align that screw with the socket that's inside the lamp housing. And what I've done here is I've actually missed the screw socket, so I could turn all day and not get it. So I pull the lens out a little bit, realign it with the screw socket, and then it just screws right in place. I've previously removed the O-ring from the yellow lens and just installed it on the new clear lens. And in a moment I'll show you what that looks like. There's the O-ring, and that's important because that O-ring acts as a standoff so that your trim ring can snap in behind the lens. As a matter of fact, that O-ring is sold with the trim ring kit that I have in my hand right here. These little notches that I'm showing you on the trim ring, they correspond with little protrusions that are sticking out on your replacement lens there, and they just help with alignment. So you just separate the ring at the bottom, allow it to kind of snap over and behind the lens. You can hear it snap into place there a little bit, and then once it's in, just put in the screw and bolt. You'll notice that the bolt here, or the nut, is not symmetrical. There's a concave side and a convex side. So you want to start the screw through the concave side of the nut. So there I'm kind of mating it up. Just slide it in, screw it on. That's it. Installation complete. Here's what it looks like with both lenses. Sorry for the brightness, but I've got a lot of LED facing forward now. I think it makes a better presentation. Notice the hyper flash that you get after just a few flashes. That's what the load stabilizer will eliminate. All you do is you remove your rear seat, or your only seat. This is my solo seat from Saddleman. You pop it off and look for this connection right here. This is the connection for your turn signals for both front and rear. It just separates with a little, depressing a little tab. And then this load stabilizer illuminator, it's plug and play, it's inline. All you do is plug it in. I mean, it couldn't be more simple. Later on, I take some wire ties and I kind of clean up that mess of wires. And I find a place to tuck the illuminator away so it won't be rattling and anything. But I think what I did on this one eventually is I flipped it upside down to fit into a little crevice, and it's nice and neat in there. But once the illuminator load stabilizer is put in place, you get a nice even flash. There's no more hyper flash. I kind of like this look. I get more white light at night. I get more visibility during the daytime, I think, with the white light, and yet it turns amber for my turn signal just fine. When you do your rears, they install just like the front. You just unscrew the nut and bolt, you tease off the trim ring. The lenses are held in place by two screws that are in the 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock position. There's that O-ring. I'm using the lenses that came with the illuminator, so I took that O-ring off and put them on the new lenses. You screw in the base just like the other one. The flat part of your LED disc lines up with the flat edge. You can see where my index finger is pointing it out in kind of the 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock position. And you just install them like the other ones. This is what my this is what the illuminator will do for you, is it will cause your turn signals to always be on, and then when you hit your brakes, they flash a little brighter, and then when you hit your turn signal, they blink on and off, of course. Anyway, I upgraded my LEDs for about $80 plus the cost of the load stabilizer from Dennis Kirk. I got the LEDs off of Amazon. Super easy to install, and if you're interested in doing this, I hope this video helps. Thanks.